Hello, you're listening to ReedyGeeks, a Walt Disney World podcast. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined today by Chief Ohana Officer Sean.
A title I wear proudly.
And Muggsy Impersonator JJ.
I mean, impersonator, who I strive to be, kind of similar.
Yeah, you just like to play him one time. In today's episode, we hear Sean's takeaways from his latest trip down to Walt Disney World. Here on ReedyGeeks, we love sharing our Disney World trips with you. But we're not going to give you a ride-by-ride recap or tell you exactly what time we grabbed that brown buttered old-fashioned. Instead, we focus on the big picture, the takeaways. These are the highlights, the lessons learned, and the moments that really define the trip. This time, it's Sean's turn, and he just got back from Walt Disney World. Today, he's sharing what stood out, what worked, and what didn't, and the memories that will stick with him. Hopefully, his experience gives you a few ideas to keep in mind for your own future trips.
So you don't want to hear what time I went to GO82?
Not the exact time. I ordered it at probably 11:52 a.m.
It's a little earlier than that, but yeah.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, I had the no spoilers. I had the 11:10. I think the same as JJ. I think it's like the first. I think it opens at 11. I was in the lobby with a bunch of other people, but we'll get there.
I have a bad feeling about this.
All right, so Sean, why don't you tell us? Why don't you start us off with some of your takeaways?
Right into it.
Yeah, well, actually, let's talk about when was the last time you were at Disney World for an extended period of time? Because you were there for a while, right?
Yeah, this was the first. This was the first trip. This was my first on-property trip since 2018. So we're going back a ways here. I've been several times since, but Airbnbs, staying at various homes for bachelor parties, going to and from the parks. We've experienced for both of your bachelor parties, but my first extended Disney stay, extended on property stay in over 7 years. So it was something that I didn't really realize how long it had been until I was really starting to think about it in the weeks coming up to the trip, and just was really looking forward to, of course, going to Disney, but just kind of being back in the bubble, and not just kind of being a one-day guest in and out in an Uber.
Yeah. All right. So what's your first takeaway?
Oh, so first takeaway is I'm sure a takeaway that will please at least one of the guests, at least one of the co-hosts here, and that is DVC accommodations. Undeniably great.
Wow.
First takeaway.
We got to call Paul Krieger up to be a guest on the show.
Yeah.
My sister rented points, and we stayed at Saratoga Springs in the grandstand building. We had two bedroom, whether they call it a villa or a suite or whatever. It was 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, full kitchen, balcony, really nice accommodations, really nice thing. It never felt, we were 5 adults and 2 very small children. And it never really felt crowded, never felt on top of each other. The room itself was really nice. And it was a great location because we were the first bus stop. Saratoga Springs is huge. Like the biggest resort, I think. I don't know what the biggest resort is, but like I know Old Key West was big. I think this is bigger. 5 bus stops. We were the first bus stop in the morning and the first bus stop at the end of the day. So it really was a great location, especially traveling with the kids, having the giant stroller and all the bags that they brought with them to have their day. Just basically being the first people on the bus every morning was a huge bonus. Mm-hmm. That I don't even think they knew about when they booked it. They were just told this is where your room is, and it ended up being right there. But loved Saratoga, beautiful resort. Our room looked right out onto, I think it was hole 10 of the Lake Buena Vista golf course. So just a really nice view, really fun to just watch people stink at golf and then be one of the people that stunk at golf. But just a beautiful resort. that I feel like Saratoga Springs, for me at least, always gets kind of overlooked and is kind of an afterthought because there's just so many more popular DVC resorts. Is Saratoga Springs, can you stay there on cash or is it DVC only? I don't know the answer.
You can stay on any of the DVC resorts on cash.
You can,
because Disney owns a portion of all of the resorts,
right.
like they're me or any owner, and they rent out. That's what you do. That's what they're doing when you go to Disney's website and book a stay at Saratoga. They're renting you the points.
Yeah.
I want to say something about where you stayed, the grandstand. I think that is the hidden gem of Saratoga. It's not the preferred section. The preferred section is the one that's right close to the carriage house. I think it's called Paddock.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's the one that's closest to Disney Springs. Those are the main preferred sections. But the grandstand, it's like people don't like to stay there, but the fact that it's the first stop is so huge.
It was the Paddock is I think the Paddock is not right next to the carriage house, but the Paddock is what I believe is where they consider their biggest and nicest pool. So we went up there for a day or an afternoon rather, but getting around that resort was a kind of a hustle. It's a big resort to walk around. The walk to Disney Springs was way longer than I anticipated it being. Like from door to door, it was almost a half hour. Walking
You're the
from
furthest
room,
spot.
Yeah, walking from room all the way through the back of the resort, out the parking lot, coming around the entrance by Cirque du Soleil. Was at least 20 to 25 minutes at regular walking pace. So longer than I anticipated, but during the day they have the same boat transportation you could take from Port Orleans. So we took advantage of that whenever we had the kids with us. But just really nice. And I think, DVC resorts, I don't have much experience at them, but they feel different. You feel a little more, I don't want to say a little more cared about, but for lack of a better term, like, everyone is looking to cater to your every need, always asking you what they can do to help you, something they can help you with. And I know that's Disney's, customer service. And actually, that's one of my other takeaways we'll get into. But there's a different feel being at the DVC resorts in my experience. I know we stayed at Old Key West, and that was 16 years ago, which is crazy to say. But, I wasn't really thinking about DVC or not DVC back then, but knowing this is a DVC resort and kind of always keeping that in the back of my head to like compare it to other resorts, I definitely noticed a more not a more posh and like pretentious feel, just much more attentive from the cast members.
Like your home.
I mean, yeah, honestly, yeah. Like, well, every time you walk in and out of the carriage house, it's welcome home. And you don't get that at other resorts.
We ended up microwaving frozen pizzas.
Second takeaway. We'll stay on the topic of Disney customer service, and this seems like a weird thing to be a takeaway because it seems so obvious, but Disney cast members are the nicest people I've ever met in my life, and like that's not to say necessarily that these people are nice people off the job. Maybe they're not, but just the fact is that you have to be always on.
Yeah.
As a cast member, you can't have a bad day. You can't be having a bad afternoon. You have to have that really crappy interaction with a guest and then immediately turn and smile at the next person. And they're just the nicest, friendliest, like bubbliest people. And I knew that Disney customer service was good, but I just kept getting a little taken back by like how nice and how well treated you are as a guest, whether it's at Springs, whether it's on a bus, whether it's in the park, whether it's at the hotel. There was one, I was walking into Disney Springs one night, and there were some cast members right outside of where they do that security checkpoint there. And some of the cast members had like those like blow up like donut inner tubes that you'd like float on in the pool. And like as kids were like walking out, they were throwing them at the kids and just like playing ring toss with them. Like it was just this little like interaction that is just fun and goofy. And I was very, reminded that the best customer service you're going to get anywhere in the world is probably at Disney World.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And especially the hospitality, the people that work at the front desk, the people that work at the bellhop, what is it, guest services, the bell services. Those people are literally the best of the best.
Right? Yeah, like the people that you just go and check your bag with, so friendly, so nice.
Yeah, that's not exclusive to DVC resorts,
right? No, yeah.
The person that works bell services at All Star Sports is also just as incredible at their job.
And I wonder if that's a little bit maybe, I don't want to say it's intentional. All customer facing cast members have to be, but these are the first people you're seeing. When you pull up to a hotel, and first and the last, that these are the people that are welcoming you out of your van, out of your Uber, out of your bus, and sending you off in those same vehicles. So the impression, setting the tone and setting the impression from the start is probably very important.
Yeah.
We'll stay in Disney Springs. When we did JJ and Sam's trip report back in the spring, I think it was Sam that had mentioned Disney Springs being a point on her list that wanted to spend more time there. And my point here on my list, word for word, is Disney Springs. That's it. That's the post. Disney Springs rules. I never get to spend enough time there. And I made a point to spend as much time as I could. Whenever I wasn't in a park or in a pool or sleeping, if I could, I was at Disney Springs, whether I was just walking around the shops, checking out some bars I had not been to before, just sitting down and taking in some of the vibe, some of the scenes. Disney Springs is so much fun. It deserves to be something you make a priority, to make a day for, make it at least a day or a night for, and not just the place you spend 4 hours on your last day because you have to wait for your airport shuttle and you have to check out of your hotel. It shouldn't
get out of the hotel and this is the only thing to do.
Right. It deserves to be more than just a time filler for when you have nothing to do. Disney Springs is the best. I loved spending every minute there. I would make a point on future extended trips. If I'm only there for 2 or 3 days, maybe I get there for a couple drinks. But if I'm there for 5-6 days, a whole day maybe at Disney Springs, just go walking around, enjoying it, especially when the new, that new game place opens. There's going to be a lot more offerings there. But yeah, Disney Springs, the best. Love it.
Yeah. I saw a post about that level 99 today.
Yeah, me too.
It's coming soon, I think. Should we level 99 preview? A little day trip up.
That could be fun.
Up to Massachusetts before the winter hits and we get caught in a snowstorm.
Ooh, before winter?
We'll have to check Andrew's schedule.
Yeah, right.
Mission accomplished.
You made it! I knew you would.
I had texted you guys about discovering the Disney Day Drinkers and the D3 beer.
Oh yeah, Binny Brew, right? Isn't that theirs?
I'm not sure what specific beers they have, but I know that I saw one of the bars I went to for the first time, and I'm now surprised that it was my first time there. I went to the Polite Pig for the first time and sat at their outdoor bar, had a couple beers with my brother-in-law. The D3 was one of them, and they had it in cans, and I was just very surprised that they were oh yeah, it's a local guy brews beer. And I was so blown away that some guy made a microbrew and got Disney to sell it. How does that happen? But it's obviously more of a involved, process and story than that. But it's she told me the story about the Disney Day Drinkers and how they're a very active online social community. They do meetups, they do happy hours. The guy who runs the group will post up at a bar and be first 15 people to come meet me, your drink's on me. It's a very fun, active community that just goes out in Disney Springs all the time and other places in Disney World. And the beer was delicious. It was the, I'll say it on here. It was the 3 Wishes Hazy IPA. It was very good. And I definitely want to do a little bit more digging on them and see if maybe they're maybe a candidate to be friends of the pod here, because we definitely like to talk about drinking in Disney World. And
would love that.
Yeah.
Who better to give us
Disney
opinions?
Day Drinkers, come on the pod. Absolutely.
Yeah, so maybe more to come in the future on that.
The first time I had heard of them, as I went to Space 220, and I was sitting at the bar there, and you have to sometimes wait a while to get up there, and so we were telling the bartender that we said like, oh man, we had to wait so long to get up here, and he goes, oh well, thank you for coming, I really appreciate it, and like almost like we were there for him. And we're like, oh yeah, it's our first time here. He goes, oh, that's great. I'm gonna make you guys something great. And then we were like, oh, so are you usually here? We started asking about him, and he was like, oh, I thought you were from the Disney Day Drinkers because I'm like a regular on their stop. Like they like to come to me.
Oh, nice.
And so then he told us all about that. So I think they have like their own like bartenders that they like to go to.
Oh, I'm sure.
And he was a lot of fun. He made everybody a shot at the bar and everything like that, and it was a big like community at the bar there. It was fun.
Yeah, I gather that from. I mean, even when we were at Port Orleans, and the woman at the pool bar was telling us about. I gather that bartenders at Disney, once they get they don't rotate very often. Once they get a spot, you could be the bartender at the. At Space 220, you could be the bartender there for 10 years. Once you get a spot, you're not necessarily rotating around. So it would definitely make sense that people find their regulars at certain bars, and they like to, especially Disney Springs, which you're not gate kept by literally a gate. You can go there whenever you want. But the bartender I had at Polite Pig, she's like, yeah, they're here all the time. Like if you're here long enough today, some of them may show up, because it was a Saturday that we were sitting out there.
Maybe there's a New York chapter of the Disney Day Drinkers.
And if there's not, maybe we could start it.
Yeah.
And this is a short takeaway. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. Chef Art Smith's, the best, just the best.
Do you have that moonshine punch?
I was there 4 nights: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I was there four nights. No, I was at Disney 4 nights, but I ate dinner there 2 of them. So it's just the best fried chicken, and just the vibe. The place is so nice. I love that place. So just short shout out, Chef Art Smith's. We'll go every time.
It's a great spot.
Did you get the same thing both times?
Both nights. I don't think I've ever not gotten. I just get the plate of fried chicken with the mashed potatoes and the cheddar biscuit. I'm a simple man. That's a last meal worthy, I think, in my opinion here.
Wow.
So next takeaway is something we talked about a little bit, offline in the chat. But as Disney kind of dips its toes a little bit further and further into like acknowledging that people drink at the parks, opening up new lounges, opening up new cocktail bars, and putting nicer offerings on their menus, making a point to serve the best and the things people like. Drinking at Disney has gotten a lot more expensive over the last couple of years. And it's just funny because I've said on the podcast a couple times that like for a place that can charge whatever they want and people will pay it, drinking at Disney is a relatively cheap endeavor unless you want to get the best of the best. But in the last couple of years, it's noticeable how much more expensive drinks have gotten. I mean, the one example is the can of High Life IPA is almost $13 now, and I think just a year ago it was maybe 10 something. So it's across the board, it's become a lot more expensive to have a cocktail or a beer at Disney.
Well, I think they do have to be competitive, though, to get the local market. I mean, you could, these local people could go to SeaWorld, which I hear has its own, like, pretty decent, like, food wine-esque thing.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? Yeah. And, so they do have to be a little competitive. We were also talking off camera about like Yankee Stadium, right? How much was that High Life? Same can, but it was $17, right? So, it also, still a little cheaper.
It's still not the most expensive place you can drink.
Yes.
but it's starting to feel expensive. But maybe that's just everywhere. It's just getting too expensive.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not just me ragging on Disney. It's just making an observation that wow, my wallet is much lighter, much quicker than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Speaking of expensive alcohol, that's a decent segue into my next takeaway, and that is my trip to newest lounge in Epcot, Geo82.
Oh, right.
Epcot's newest and freshest and brightest lounge. Had a really nice experience there. It's really, I think they set the tone pretty well. Like right when you walk in, it's a nice place. They welcome you. They give you like a cold towel. I don't know. Did you get that treatment? They give you a nice little.
I did get the cold towel.
Nice cold towel, yeah. And they let you they offer you to look at the menu. They offer you a water. I think they set the tone very, very fast that this is a nice place. This isn't a place you're gonna come and get blackout drunk. This is not that kind of place. I went upstairs. I waited I was a single reservation, so I don't know if maybe they prioritized seating a couple larger groups ahead of me. There were definitely some people that arrived after I did that got seated first, but I can understand that a single reservation might throw off the vibe up there when you have to take up tables. I thought I'd get a bar seat, but I got a single table off to the far end of the wall.
I also got the same treatment. I also waited a little bit longer than I thought I would to sit, but I did end up at the bar.
Nice, yeah. I would have liked to be at the bar. The table for one, I have no bones about going out and doing something by myself. But if I'm going out and eating or drinking by myself, I'm going to sit at the bar. I'm not going to get a table. Mm-hmm. So the table for one feels a little weird. But just from the moment you sit down, it's just the vibe is so nicely curated. You can tell it's fancy, it's upscale. The way the servers speak to you, the way they describe the menu, the way they describe the drinks, and even the way they present the drinks, it's very, very high class, very upscale. I got the brown butter old fashioned. It was delicious, very much. Maybe the best old fashioned I've had.
Maybe the best drink in Disney World. I had this on my trip takeaway. I might jump in and bogart you a little bit, but I completely agree with you. Geo82 is fancy in a way that the YouTube footage that you've seen just doesn't translate. It is so nice in there. When I saw it, I thought, oh, it's an airport lounge with gold instead of silver, and it's not. No, it's legitimately nice in there.
And the decoration, the kind of vibe feels very much like it's an 80s Epcot. Like it has a little bit of that gaudy kind of look to the silver and gold decorations.
It's so nice in there, and everything is Epcot ball imprint.
The ice cube. I need that ice cube mold to have in my freezer. I would love to.
I almost bought the glassware with the little pattern along the.
Yeah, that was they didn't come to me because I was just one person. But every table that had a couple people, they came around and like advertised the glasses. Like, would you like to buy this? And it was like, well, they didn't offer it to me, but I wouldn't have bought it. But what I did do is take a couple of Geo82 coasters to keep in my home. So
nice.
Little bit of pocket those on my way out, but. So the takeaway, though, is Geo82. Very nice. Very good experience. Very delicious drink. I don't know if I ever need to go again.
Oh, so my end is a little different. I hate that I love it. I love it.
Well, I mean,
and I
sure.
hate that I love it.
I feel similarly. It was really nice, but like I just
$30 for an old fashioned.
I don't need a $29 old fashioned every time.
I know. It's maybe gonna replace buying a piece of merch for myself.
Sure.
That I'm gonna go get that one drink and then leave. I love the vibe in there, and I hate that I love it. I hate when something fancy is also good. There's something where I feel like there should be a law of diminishing returns, and it's so upsetting when the highest end version of the thing is better. It's annoying.
Yeah, no, they did. Listen, they did it well. They didn't phone this in. This is a beautiful place. And I'm sure it's a place if the people I'm with want to go, I'm not against going, but I if I'm in charge of the day, I probably wouldn't. Nothing bad to say, except, it's a little more expensive than I'd like it to be, but I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, and just happy for that, because I'm hoping that I don't think I'll feel the same way when I eventually experience Beak and Barrel. I think that'll be a lot more of a fun, like Trader Sam's-esque environment.
I think I could see myself going like the first of the day. Like if it's a drinking day, just go there once in the beginning for one drink, have a really nice drink to start with, and then continue on.
Yeah, so I had the 11:10 in the morning.
As did I.
Reservation. Yeah. So I opened the place, and it was a nice little break to. The kids went to. I skipped Turtle Talk with Crush. Admittedly, the kids went to Turtle Talk, and I said, "Well, I'm going to go have a cocktail because it's already been a morning." So
I bet Kyle was so jealous.
I'm gonna go to do this. Yeah. Well, he wasn't jealous of what I paid, but he was jealous of the air conditioning and the alcohol.
So about Beak and Barrel, real quick, I heard that those drinks really pack a punch.
Yeah.
They are
here's the thing. Here's
drinks.
the thing. There's nothing wrong with paying high price for a drink if it's 2 or 3 drinks,
Right.
Yeah, I have a feeling that I'm more likely to feel how you feel about Jew 82 as I will about Beak and Barrel, where it'll be like a once in a while, because you know what, I don't go to Oga's every time. I love Trader Sam's, but I don't think it's an every time kind of place.
I think this is going to be better than Oga's, though.
Better than Oga's. Interesting.
We Oga's this time. Trisha wanted to do it. I could have gone either way, but we had a good time. We went in for a beer.
It's always a good time.
One drink each. It was very crowded, and it's like I said, it's not something I would do every time, but yeah.
When you're there and the vibe is right, it's incredible. But sometimes the vibe isn't right. Sometimes you're there at 3:30 in the afternoon and everybody's hot and tired, and then you're told that you have to stand over there in the back corner where you can't even see anything.
We did have a standing table.
It's a little
but we were right in front of Rex, which was fun.
That's a good consolation. If you're going to have to stand, you might as well be in front of DJ Rex.
I feel like I had one really good time at Oga's, and that was
and it was on your bachelor party.
Yeah. That's when you
can't have unless somehow actors and actresses from Star Wars are at Oga's with you. You can't have a better time at Oga's than we had.
I went to Oga's Cantina with Adam Driver.
I think I'll take one of those newfangled trolleys down to the drugstore soda fountain and meet the boys for a cold sarsaparilla.
So moving on, we'll stay in Epcot. Again, we texted about this. JJ and I kind of touched on it offline before Andrew jumped on. Test Track version 3. I just don't think I really care about Test Track anymore. It's not something that I am like jumping out of my seat to ride. I thought Test Track 3 was fine. I don't think there's much they can do anymore with that ride to really refresh it if they're not going to change the overall ride path and just the story around it. There's just really nothing that really draws me to really want to experience the ride. I don't think they'll ever get rid of it. I think that Test Track at this point is such an iconic part of Epcot that it's always going to be there. Maybe every 10 to 15 years they give it a refresh, but it's just, I don't know. I got off and I was like, this was fine. And I think I'm just done expecting them to get it right. I don't know what your thoughts are on it.
Okay. Well, I had this as a takeaway as well, for my trip, which we're going to talk about next time, but I'll bring it up now and jump on yours. I think the indoor section of this was tremendously improved over Test Track 2. However, I think the queue kind of stinks on this one.
And the queue's really bad. Yeah.
The queue in Test Track 1 was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
It's just too good.
Too good. Yeah.
But it's definitely improved. The dark ride section of Test Track 3 is great. I love they pumped in some smellitizer.
Yeah, they did that. That's true.
They did a little World of Motion reference where the computer was like, it's fun to be free. It was much improved and much more evergreen as opposed to Test Track 2, which very much felt like
Tron.
As soon as you went on it once, you're like, okay, I'm done. Like this one I would re-ride again for the interior part of the ride. You know, driving 65 in a convertible thing of that ride is just, it's not for us.
No.
We can drive 65
Right.
whenever we want. We can rent the convertible from Hertz for $28. You know, like it's not for adults. The exterior part of that ride is not for adults. The interior part is supposed to be like nice and fun and informative, and it does a much better job than 2. Huge improvement.
I would probably agree with that, but I just overall I got off and I was like, okay.
But this isn't it's not a top 10 ride for me, and I don't really know. I know it's technically the second best ride in Epcot, but I don't think it's my second favorite ride in Epcot.
Interesting.
Well, because living with land.
Oh, yeah. It's a perfect ride, except for the last show scene, which is a takeaway that I have from. We'll talk about that next week.
JJ just wants to take over your whole episode, Sean. How do you feel about that?
It's really not fair.
Well, when you have a day in Epcot, it's hard to not get excited to talk about it.
That's right.
Wait a minute. I love that idea.
I think it's finally time for Disney to fully lean headfirst into drinking around the world. I think Disney needs to just accept and embrace that a good amount of people come to Epcot to take part in this activity. I walk around Epcot and the t-shirts that I see that people have made on their own or gotten from other merchandisers, like there is such a listen, Disney's not going to make a t-shirt that says like I got blacked out at Epcot, you know, they're not going to do that. But like I just feel like there's such a lost revenue stream in not embracing drinking around the world and you know, making specific merchandise for each country for like, you know, their drinks, or I don't know, it just feels like something that now that Disney is starting to be like, oh yeah, people drink here. I don't know. I think it's time. I think it's kind of weird that it's like the you know but you don't know. They'll never fully embrace it, but like.
So what does that look like for you, Sean? Them embracing it.
I remember I thought it was a thing Disney did, where the person I had gone with wanted to get almost like a passport book that like had each bar, like you would stamp each bar, every country would like, and like just little things like that. You know, maybe Epcot sells like El Cavatel tequila t-shirts. Like that's not, you know, that's not off book for them. But like, I just think it's at the end of the day, I think it's a possible lost revenue stream.
You know, that there is something to be said about that, but also there's definitely a growing sector of people that I think have a leg to stand on, that there are a lot of very drunk people in Epcot.
Yeah.
You know, I am one of those drunk people in Epcot.
We have been those drunk people.
And I think that they're really doing the people that want to drink on vacation a disservice by having really only one area that you can drink, and it is in a place that you're right next to the Ratatouille ride.
Yeah.
Like, you know, some of these people, if you brought Pleasure Island back, would just leave Epcot. They would go somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. Like there's so little places to do what they want to do. So they have to do it around the families and around the children. Yeah. Right. And
drinking around the world is definitely still always going to be a thing, but they can kind of mitigate it a little bit. Instead of having every person's day that they get drunk be the day that they're at Epcot.
Right.
Right? Like if you go, I want to get drunk on vacation. I'm on vacation. I want to get drunk one day. And every single person that's doing a Disney vacation is getting drunk their Epcot day. Yeah. So like maybe they need to spread some of that out a little bit so that not every person that drinks and is over 21 is a drunk person in Epcot.
Yeah, I think there's something to that for sure. It's like you obviously you can drink at Disney Springs, but it's a lot more spread out. It's not a condensed place, whereas
it's not themed.
How many bars,
you know? Right, exactly.
How many bars are you going to go to? Like, you're not going to go to 10 bars.
You're going to post up at
Disney
Raglan Road or the
Springs.
Boathouse for 2 or 3 hours
Right.
a piece.
Yeah,
and
you'll have a
that's
couple
it.
drinks
Yeah.
and you'll be done. Because it's...
But yeah, I don't know. I think drinking around the world, Epcot should or Disney rather, should turn into the Skid.
I agree. I would not mind. They have all those where like Mickey is wearing clothing of a country and then it says the country name next to it. Like, wouldn't it be fun if you put like the signature drink in Mickey's hand or something?
Right. What
like,
if Mickey was holding a cocktail?
like, what if Mickey was holding a beer stein
Yeah,
in Germany and a margarita in Mexico? Like, that would be so much more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they could mitigate the because there might be a legality thing about this, right? That they're almost challenging you to drink around the world, and then someone gets sick.
Well,
and then
that was the big thing that I always said. That's why they're not, because they're not condoning it. They don't want to advertise that you can come to Epcot and have 12 drinks in 6 hours, right? So it's definitely a funny line to walk. And it's always going to be safer for them to just not take any part in advertising it and just know people are going to come, but we're not advertising it.
They could also lean a lot into mocktails too. Like mocktails are becoming a bigger thing. Non-alcoholic beers are becoming a bigger thing. Like they could make it something where like, yes, drink around the world, but like 1 out of 3 has to be a mocktail or something. I don't know, in order to get your stamp.
Is a cup of water a mocktail?
No,
it is to me.
If the cup of water costs $16, then yes, it's a mocktail.
You know what? And I'll move on from this, but really quick, this is not an official trip takeaway, but I just thought of it. I ate at the Regal Eagle. So good. So good.
Nice.
Regal Eagle is great.
I was not expecting in theme park barbecue to be as good as it was. This was delicious. Would definitely make a point to like have that maybe be like the place I get food in the World Showcase every now and then. This is the first time I ever didn't get a brat in Germany, and part of me regrets it a little bit. But yeah. But I said, I want to go to Regal Eagle. So yeah, it was really good.
We did it! Let's eat!
So my next takeaway kind of blends with something I just talked about, and it may, spoil or come into conversation with an episode shortly down the line from here. But the takeaway I have is, why is every other independent merchandiser better at making merchandise than Disney World?
What about this shirt right here?
Is that an official Disney shirt?
This is an official Disney shirt.
That's a pretty good shirt. But it seems like every company that makes clothing for Disney World is so much better at doing it and more creative and wittier than Disney. Why buy shirts at Disney when I can buy from a great like JJ's Living with the Land shirt? It's such a great shirt, and you're not going to find that in a design like that in Epcot.
Definitely not our Dino. Go, go, go!
So, kind of coming out of the parks, Andrew can probably speak to this a little, because I'm actually, you both can, because you've both done it. Traveling with small human beings was a whole, no pun intended, a whole new world to a Disney trip. The main takeaway I had for that is the rigid planning that is required to have a successful day in the park with reservation, fast passes. You have to be here at this time. You have to do it. Is not conducive whatsoever to traveling with children. There were so many times that our days were just fluid. It's like, we have a 2:00 fast pass. We may not make it. It is what it is. Like, we have these reservations, we have these things, but like, maybe the kids need to nap a little longer. Maybe they didn't nap when they were supposed to, and now they have to nap an hour later, and we need to be somewhere quiet for an hour and a half. And it's interesting that for a place that's so family based on kids and family focused, I never really got to experience that end of it. And I don't know, I would be interested to hear from more people that travel with kids.
The window for the fast pass is it's actually not a 1 hour window. They advertise a 1 hour window. It's a 3 hour window.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
If you show up like an hour and a half after your fast pass expires, you can just tap in.
Yeah.
It's only if you're 2 hours past your window closing, then it won't go green. but
Got
they're pretty accommodating, which is huge, especially for parents that are trying to figure out, well, how do I work these fast passes and let my kids go take a nap midday? Yeah, I mean, traveling with kids, obviously a whole different ball game, and definitely a challenge. But I do love it. I loved.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
the kids they were so much more into it.
Yeah, I definitely also think that for us not having the kids too, like the amount of stress and pressure we felt is like minimal to what parents actually feel. You know.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it was fun. The kids, they loved it. They were much more. My niece is too young to really know anything. But my nephew, I think, is just old enough to really take some of it in. Big monorail guy, loved the monorail.
That's right.
But like, just loved being in the parks. Had a lot of fun with the character meet and greets. Liked a lot more of the rides than I thought he would. But so yeah, it was fun being with the kids. And what I'll also say is, on top of the strategizing with kids, we utilize rider swap or rider switch a lot, and that is such a.
How is it right now?
So on our trip, it worked. It worked great. We used it for Guardians, Rise of the Resistance. I know they used it in I wasn't there Magic Kingdom Day, but I believe they used it for Tiana's Bayou, Big Thunder. Great. Or no, Big Thunder's closed. Space Mountain. So they used it enough, but it's really a really great system that just really that allows the party to. You got to break it up, but it is what it is. The kids can't get on every ride, but they make it so that the people that weren't part of the group just get to go in the Lightning Lane entrance.
Does Big Kid get to go on it twice?
No. So like I would go on a ride with my parents, and Trisha and Kyle would tap in and get a Lightning Lane, and then we would get off and take the kids, and they would go on it. So like people in the party can't ride twice.
So here's something that must be different from the last time I went. Again, this was pre-pandemic. Was the last time I was with my niece and nephew, and the way the system worked was just one person had to stay behind with baby, and then that person could go with up to 3 people. So we had people going on things twice.
Oh, I mean, maybe we didn't really try it too hard, but I mean, yeah, maybe I could have just walked back on Guardians with them or Rise of the Resistance, but it was kind of nice because we ended up, so we rope dropped Hollywood Studios because we didn't. That's the one park I don't think we bought Lightning Lane for that park. We did for Epcot for a couple of the things, but we rope dropped Rise of the Resistance.
The best.
I went on with my parents and they loved it. Great ride experience with them on that. We had a very good Imperial cast member.
Nice.
A real snarky, real sarcastic, real attitude-y guy. He was so good. But like just with the kids needing time, like they didn't end up going back on it for like 3 or 4 hours. Because it just kind of worked out that way. And so like we went on at like 8:30 in the morning, and they didn't end up riding it till maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock. And they let them ride on. It's accommodating. It seems like an accommodating system to make up for, the how fluid traveling with children needs to be.
And how split up you might be at the time.
Right.
Like, to accommodate rider swap, you have to leave your group. So it's nice that they're doing people a solid by being like, we advertise ourselves as the place that you can always be with your party at the same time. And when you have to split up for the rider swap thing, it's nice that they kind of make it right.
Yeah. So I have 2 more takeaways, and the second to last one has to do with rides. And it has to do with a ride I have not ridden in the 7 years that since I've been to Disney World, and that ride is Tower of Terror.
Oh my gosh, we didn't. Oh right, we didn't do Tower of Terror when at Andrew's bachelor party.
Right,
that's my one regret. We went on Slinky Dog instead of Tower of Terror.
But my takeaway is, and side note, I think I have finally come around to. I think Guardians edges Rise of the Resistance. I think I'm finally ready to join that to join that side of history.
It's just more re-rideable.
Yeah, it's so good. But my question is Tower of Terror the perfect ride?
Oh, I mean, it's pretty close. It's
like,
there's no way you could improve it.
Yeah.
So, and I love the drop sequences being random. Last time I went on, I got such a great ride sequence when I went on in May. It was amazing.
And like, I what made me ask this is because I don't think it's the best ride at Disney. Once again, I really do think Guardians is the best ride on Disney property. But I'm waiting in line for Tower of Terror, and a ride that I've gone on, it has to be 100 times in my life so far. Like, it always feels exciting. The theme, the vibe, and just that it doesn't matter how many times you've ridden it. It doesn't matter how brave you are. You get a little kind of uneasy, little antsy feeling when you're going to go on Tower of Terror, because you don't know, are you going to drop first? Are you going to go up first? You don't know what's going to happen. And I just think the feeling you get is what made me think, like, honestly, a Tower of Terror, I think Tower of Terror is the perfect ride. I really do. I think it's the perfect experience of a ride.
There's a little moment where you're pulling forward and you're right when it locks and you go, I'm in the shaft. Which, that is like, you still get that little butterfly.
You're like a little, you're kind of clenching up a little bit because you don't know if you're going to go up or down. It's such a great ride.
I would say to make it great, or to make it perfect though, and kind of because of what JJ said, how it's totally random, I want at least to make sure I'm getting one really big drop. Like, I've been on it a couple times where I get so many small drops that I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm just bumping on a road here. You know what I mean?
You'll get a really big rise, but then slow drops all the way down. And I'm like, just give me one really big drop and then do a completely random thing.
Man, I got 3 strong drops. They weren't, granted, I think 2 of them weren't big. They were just like, the way it pulled you down, you really came out of your seat twice. Not that it dropped for a very long time, but one of them was such a big, long, strong drop. It was so much fun. I think that's Guardians, Rise, and Tower of Terror are the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit of Walt Disney World attractions.
That's funny. That could be a T-shirt.
That's a good T-shirt.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll keep that idea in mind.
Yeah, let's put that in our back pocket.
And so, final takeaway from a great trip is something that Andrew referenced in my intro, my title. I've made my glorious return to Ohana in the Polynesian resort. Ohana rules, man. Ohana's so good. Noodles for days.
Nice.
They are really good noodles.
Yeah, and it was they don't do the Brazilian steakhouse style like skewers anymore. They probably still bring out as much food as you would have gotten. Like, there's a big bowl of steak, a big bowl of delicious chicken, and I think I haven't eaten there in maybe close to 10 years, but I think the food has maybe improved a little bit. The chicken was so good. The steak was really, really, really good. The noodles were, of course, the noodles, and those delicious crispy wings. Just more wings and noodles than we knew what to do with. So they bring out as much as you really like. It was a table of like 5 adults and 2 kids, so they brought out like 2 or 3 big platters of everything, and we ate. Boy, did
that's great.
Yeah. So happy to have returned to Ohana, and it was in the back of my head was thinking I was kind of setting myself up to have like maybe a mediocre, maybe even slightly let down of an experience, but no, delicious. Ohana's back.
Yeah, I wonder if word got out that too many people were saying that Ohana's cutting corners, and rather than dropping the price, they decided to up the quality.
Just up the quality.
I wouldn't be surprised if that is part of the case, and I'm glad that it's back, because it's really a special place.
Yeah, it really was. Like my parents were like, no matter what, we're going to Ohana, and I was like, okay, we can go. You know, if well, my parents are going to take us out to dinner at Ohana, I'm not going to say no. But it was a better meal than I could have imagined having, knowing,
and a great view of the Seven Seas Lagoon. You can see the castle.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very magical place and a very magical hotel. A great resort to get the chance to hop into the Polynesian. You know, there's nothing better than checking out the Polynesian. It's a very special place. So I'm glad that Ohana's back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for me, that wraps it. Those are my trip takeaways.
Very good takeaways. And I'm glad your Ohana experience was better, because you had some disappointing Ohanas.
I was down on Ohana. I was ready to kind of write it off, especially after we went to Sebastian's and had such a great meal at Sebastian's. I was ready to team Sebastian. But no, Ohana is as far as I'm concerned, it's back.
That's great.
Maybe on our corporate retreat we should do both.
Oh, compare
Sebastian's. Yeah,
it would have to be
Ohana
at each end of the trip, because I can't imagine 2 nights in a row eating that way.
Unless it's our only meal, maybe we do like a late lunch and we don't have dinner.
Yeah.
Well, that was it. I had my Ronto wrap, and then I had nothing else the entire day.
Yeah.
So I was ready to go by the time we sat down for
no,
dinner.
if we do one meal at Ohana at like 3:00, maybe that'll like. You have breakfast
right when they open
at
up for
9.
dinner.
Yeah, you have breakfast at 9, and then you go there for like 3 p.m. and you just gorge yourself. That might work.
You think I'm a brand new, get it? Because you got a wonderful imagination.
Okay, guys, I think we've heard enough from Sean. Do you think we have time for a little game?
I think we've heard enough. I think Andrew wants to go watch the Yankees here.
Fine.
We got
maybe next
2
time.
outs left. 2 outs left. to just pushing game 3. That's it.
Right.
That's right.
Will you be going to game 3?
Yes. So I'll be going, if there's a game 3, I'm going with my brother.
All right. So hopefully nothing bad happens in the next 2 outs here.
Okay, Sean, want to take us out?
Thanks for listening to another episode of the ReedyGeeks podcast. Like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Any questions, comments, concerns, future titles, or topic ideas, email us at reedygeeks@gmail.com, and check us out on all our socials at ReedyGeeks. We'll see you next time.
See you, pals.
This week's Honest Send-Off comes courtesy of Joey from New York. If you have an honest send-off that you want played at the end of one of our episodes, please submit an audio clip to us via our email address, reedygeeks@gmail.com. ReedyGeeks, a Walt Disney World podcast, is hosted and executive produced by Andrew Shopey, Sean Murphy, and JJ Hefner. Music and audio engineering by JJ Hefner.
Bon voyage.